everybody to the hangout on bodies. And if you weren't creating a problem with your body, what would you choose? What could you choose? If your body was not a problem, what would you create? I believe is actually the title of this Zoom, and we're being translated into German. Also, and any of you guys that are on in German who didn't get the link, it is in the chat. So if you go to the bottom of the screen and click on the chat, you can open up that link. So I'm Dr. Glenna Rice, and I'm a 3-day body class facilitator, and I'm teaching some classes coming up around the planet, and one's in Germany. So that's why we're translating this in German. And this is a chat about what you guys want to know about bodies. Any questions you have for me. I have quite a few that were sent in, but I'm having a hard time accessing all of them on the link. So if you had a question, you can put it into the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask one. I've been teaching the body classes now for about 5 years all over the world, about 1 or 2 a month for years. I'm one of my favorite classes to teach. 3 days of gifting and receiving these amazing body processes from Access. You get to trade with people, and there's over 60 processes in the book right now to change kind of anything you're asking to change. And the class is really about you asking your body what it wants to change and what processes are going to contribute to that. And because it's about you and your body receiving, the processes can be really different for every person. So it's really not like going to a medical professional and getting a prescription of what's going to heal a certain thing or change a certain thing. It's about being able to follow the energy and listen to your body and see what would work best for it, because it has the information for you about what can change with your body. So are there any questions right off the bat?
Hey, Glenna,
yeah.
Can you just talk a little bit for maybe we have people on who haven't done a body class in a while or whatever. Can you just talk a little bit about the benefits of doing more than the 2 that you need to get to advanced body, and how often the body processes change, and just give us a little information about that?
Ooh, I can. Oh, that was intense. I don't know what was intense about that, but I guess people want to know that. So there are people that come to body classes, target it maybe once a month. There's processes are always changing. We're taking processes out that don't read on as many bodies, and new ones are being added all the time. In fact, the 3-day body class just got 3 new processes this month from Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here. And they're one about feelings and I can't even. They're actually about changing amazing things with your body. Let's just say that. There's 3 brand new ones, and they're just being run now. So I can't say a lot about what they're changing, because what they're changing is going on the planet right now as the different body classes get run. So if you haven't been to a class in a while, a couple years or a year, there's new processes. There's probably 12 new ones in the last year and a half that are now in the annual. There's ones on chaos and order. There's a new radiation process. There's the feelings one. There's lots of different things happening. So your body gets changed every single time you go. I don't know, Kim, you go to a lot of them. I know that. And there's other people on that have been to a lot of them. What would you say about that, actually? So I don't actually get to take the 3-day body class. I just teach it. I take the advanced one.
So first of all, they're asking you to talk slower.
Oh, okay.
So
sorry.
So talk slower. Well, so I am one of those people who has the target to do 1 a month, right? Which I have actually yet to successfully achieve. But they're just always different. But I think that I was thinking a lot of people don't realize how often they change. It's not a static class. Every single one is different. And because of the people in it, and because of the questions that they ask, and because of the bodies are there.
Someone speaking in German that can.
And also because there are new processes all the time. I mean, it seems like every time we turn around, something that used to be advanced is now in the body class. And so it's always really different.
Is that Sophie we're hearing? She can hear it. Sophie, I think you're coming through when you talk.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's somebody who actually has not muted himself.
Oh, and they're listening to you on
an English
yeah.
Zoom. So please, can you mute everybody, maybe?
Let me see if I can get that done.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm not hearing it anymore, so it may have changed. I'm not hearing you when you talk. Okay, so what Kim was talking about is how much this class changes and how the advanced processes come in. And I actually would say that this class, the energy of this class is much like the advanced class was a few years ago. What I've been noticing that's been really different, which is part of the inspiration for this call, is that when I used to teach the class, I would get lots of questions right off the bat about the problems people had with their bodies, and they wanted to change the pains in their bodies, the aches, their weight, they looked old, all of stuff, real specific things about that they had decided was wrong about their body, that if that wasn't there anymore, then they could create something. And recently, in maybe the last year or so, the questions I would start every class out, if you can get anything out of this class, what would it be? And people have been asking for things that are so much greater, creating such a different way of embodying on this planet. They're asking more now about, how do I be grateful for my body? How do I have ease with my body? How can I listen to what my body's talking about? How can I have a better communion with my body? What if my body was my friend? And one question that I got asked a few times in classes recently was, how do I create with my body? And that is one of the questions that was that was sent to me. So how do you create with your body? We're creating with our body all the time. Part of how you create with your body is to acknowledge that you are creating with your body. So everything you have done to never acknowledge and never be aware of the creation with your body that already exists for you, we destroy and uncreate all of that. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. A lot of the real basic, wonderful tools and access are actually part of what this is. When we ask something, there's a question about with making money. So you ask anything you buy if it will make you more money. So, and you're asking your body, if I buy this, will it make me more money? So that is part of how you start creating with your body, because then you start adding the things into your life that work for your body. And there are things that work for you, the infinite being you are, they're creating more. And that's one of the ways that we all the time are creating with our body. Or if you're using those tools, body, what would you like to eat? And there's a real simple tool, asking your body, would you like to eat? And what would you like to eat? That's starting to create with your body. And it'll start changing the way you start to be with food on the planet. So most of the things that you're choosing on this planet, when you're embodied with the body, are for your body. Like the home you live in, the clothes you wear, the people you hang out with, the people you have relations with. A lot of this is for your body. So we're creating with our body all the time. We often don't include our body in the questions we ask or what we're asking for to create our life or living in our reality. And when you start including your body with that, then you have a whole different way you start to embody on this planet, and actually becomes greater and greater. Any questions around that? Oh, there was one question that I just see here, are the body processes archived in the reference materials? I am working on that. It will be available soonish.
Which means they're not part of the reference materials that you can currently purchase. It's going to be a separate body process reference material that you will purchase separately from the other reference materials.
Yeah. And if people want muted, is that, or you can just ask a question. So one of the things that stops us from being able to create with our body is that we're not listening to it. We have difficulty hearing what it says, and that's also one of the things that people ask a lot to change in the body classes. And the 3-day body classes, you start to have this communion and connection with your body during the class. Starts to take away barriers and boundaries and layers and limitations that we have, where we have refused to listen to our body or misinterpreted what the body says. And the problems and the pains and the creations we have that are like that are one of the ways we stop listening to what our body is trying to give us information about. And the body class has almost every process is going to contribute to start changing that for everybody who takes it. And it's going to be different for each of you, because everybody's created a different limitation, a different way they've stopped the communication with their body. No one in kindergarten ever taught you how to talk to your body or to listen your body. Access now to do that. But that's not the way medical questions have you listen to your body. It's all about coming up with answers and conclusions. So all of the answers and conclusions you have that keep you from hearing your body's whispers, would you guys like to destroy and create all of that? Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So this is a very intense Zoom, and I'm just going to ask if you guys can get anything out of this, what would that be? It feels like it's kind of going all over the place, and I'm hearing many things, and they're all, so there's an intensity that you guys want to know. We're getting some questions in now here. Your mind is the lock in this reality, and your body is from the foundation class in Paris. Yeah, your mind is the lock into this reality, and your body is the key. So what he's saying with that is your body is the key to change this. So when we embody in this reality, when we get a body, when we choose a body, we embody this entire reality. Your body is this sensorial organism that we talk about in the body class that allows you to have access to information of everything around you. So the body has a way of communicating with all the energies on this planet, all the energies of everyone around you. And most of those energies that we perceive in our body, we turn into something else, or we misinterpret, or we ignore it. And there's so many things that we have in place that stop that. We're talking, there's other questions coming in. I'm being totally distracted by them. So that's one of the keys to be able to create a reality that works for you, to create your reality, to create a reality that's different from this planet's reality that we're all been kind of enmeshed in, is to start to include your body. So everything you've done to exclude your body from the creation of your life, you're living in reality. So you could keep the limited small reality and be just like everyone else. Could we destroy and create all of that? Okay, cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. It's so funny. I see all these people laughing. I hear nothing. What if we could unmute people? I don't know what that would be like, but it feels kind of fun.
I'll unmute some.
Okay. So everywhere you've created your mind as a lockdown, so you can never have your body possibility. That's not going to create all of that. Cool. That didn't work. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So everything you've done to create your mind as the total lockdown, so you can never have the key of the awareness from your body, can we destroy and create all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So this is not a beginning Zoom, you guys. So if you're on and you're brand new to Access, which is a possibility because this is totally out there on Facebook, and I am so grateful if you are and you came on that way. The clearing statement I'm saying, this pod pot crazy stuff, you can find, if you go to the clearingstatement.com, you will find information all about that. So it's just kind of a crazy tool. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's a really potent that will take away all these limitations that we're talking about that you may not even consciously know you have. You just have to say yes, and the ones that want to go will go. It's like a big cosmic vacuum cleaner for the lockdowns that we put ourselves on, so you can create way more if you choose it. So most people lost the body feeling. What is that? I work daily with clients who have this problem. Lost their body's feeling. So they have like a numbness in this reality. I think that's what I'm interested in. Yeah, Sophie, we can hear you again. Someone's in. You can find that person. Yeah. I think we'll have to keep people muted. So then you just unmute yourself. That's the only way it's going to work. There's a lot of people on.
Da sind ganz viele Leute, die da dran sind.
So Sophie, we can hear you again.
So könnt ihr mich jetzt?
I think it's Nicole's iPhone that is broadcasting Sophie. There. Everything that is. So most people lost this body's feeling. So I think what she's saying is there's a numbness to things. So right now we're having this big, huge class in Malaysia. There's called a 7-day where there's people have flown all over the world and they're having an intensive 7-day free-form amazing class with Gary Douglas. And they have been talking about feelings and no feelings. So no feelings is where you kind of have the feelings, but you numb yourself out so you don't have the feelings, but you're pretending you don't have the feelings when you actually have the feelings. And we will do that to try to survive this reality. But the thing is, feelings are a way to stop your body's awareness. When you do thoughts, feelings, and emotions, you actually do a lower harmonics or a lower vibration of what's possible for an infinite being. It stops your perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving. And to have the information that your body's giving you, perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving is what's required. So when you do feelings and emotions, you remove the ability, or you slow down the ability to perceive, know, be, and receive what your body is actually communicating you. And feelings are such a huge, huge part of this reality. So how many feelings are you using to stop your body's awareness are you choosing? Everything that is. You guys want to destroy and uncreate them all. Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. So truth, how many feelings are you using to stop your body's awareness you are choosing? And everything that is, you guys want to destroy and uncreate it all. Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond.
I mean, I don't think it would be a huge stretch to say that we use feelings as the reason and justification for almost everything that we do or don't choose.
Yeah, we say, it doesn't feel good. That wouldn't be fun. I don't like this. Those are all feelings. I think this is horrible. I hate that. I can't stand that. Oh, I totally love that. It's the only thing I want to choose. None of these are questions. Questions empower. Questions open doors to different possibilities. And a question would be, truth, body, do you like that? Or would you enjoy having that, or eating that, or playing with that, or wearing that? And get an awareness of the lightness of what that is for your body. Light, the tool to be able to really create changes is light and heavy. If it's light, it's true for you. If it's heavy, it's a lie. It's an amazing tool. If you use that one and that's all you get out of this call, it's going to be something you can use to create an amazing future with. So when you go to feelings, you aren't aware of the lightness or the true, what is true for you. You're locking in this other energy that stops you from awareness of what your body actually could be communicating you to start creating with you and creating a life that is totally different than the lives we have been creating in this reality. So how many feelings are you using to stop the awareness of your body you are choosing? And everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it all. Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. My Skype is beeping. I need to change the status so you don't hear it. There. And come back to you guys. There you are. Okay, so what other questions do we have? Communion with my body and creating miracles with my body. And then is there a process that contributes to more wealth? So those are 2 of them that have come in, both very interesting questions. Okay, so that didn't stop my Skype. Sorry guys, I need to click something else and I'm not multitasking well. Okay, that should change it. So communion with your body and creating more miracles with your body. So the clearings I've been doing is one of the ways it'll start opening up to that. And I always talk about how if you acknowledge the miracles your body's already being and creating, one of the things is to acknowledge what your body is, what it is creating, and the miracles it's creating all the time. I mean, just a miracle to be here and to create a body that's changing all the time is like really simple, but just, eating food and what that creates for your body. When you eat food from an orgasmic place, from an enjoyable place, something that makes your body feel amazing, that is a miracle. And how often do we acknowledge even the smallest ones, or we think they're too small to acknowledge, and we're looking for, that our body can like jump from place to place without having to walk, or could fly, or some other thing like that. But those possibilities, if we can't even acknowledge the smaller, what we would define it or judge as a smaller miracle, then how can we have those greater ones? And a communion with your body is really having no judgments of it and receiving the information without judgment, and then asking questions and listening for what it has to say. So all the miracles you've had with your body that you've never acknowledged as miracles, could we destroy and uncreate that? Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what communion with your body are you refusing with the feelings you are choosing? That's a good one. All of that, let's destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What communion are you refusing with the feelings you are choosing? And everything that is, you want to destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, here would be an example of it where we use feelings to stop communion. So often when people have had relatives or family members or someone that was close to them pass away, the energies of that person, the entity, the being that that person is, may want to come and visit you and say hi afterwards. Like, hey, how you doing? And then when you perceive the energy of that, you go immediately into feelings. Now, I've worked with lots of people that this has changed totally the way that they can have a communion or a conversation with people that they've cared about that don't have bodies on this planet anymore. But those beings are trying to communicate with your body and with you, and you go into grief and tears and sadness and all these other feelings and emotions, which totally stops your ability to even hear any communication from a being that's actually trying to talk to you. So that is a way that everyone's seen kind of the sadness that people go into when they miss somebody. But often the missing is the energy of a communication that you're stopping, and a communion with your body giving you that information you're stopping. So everywhere that you've used sadness to stop the communion, the communication, and listening to your body, we destroy and create all of that. Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Any questions about that one? So when people are muted, can they unmute themselves to talk?
Let me
Yeah.
unmute myself. Yeah, you just hover down at the bottom and there's a little microphone that says mute or unmute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys can do that. Yeah. So is there a body process? Is there a question? I heard unmuting happening. So is there a body process that contributes to more wealth? Well, receiving money is about receiving. So I would say every single body process is going to change something in your body that's a limitation. And all of those limitations stop receiving. So all of them can contribute in some way, depending on what you ask, to creating more wealth. What I would have someone do in the body class that was looking for that is to ask their body what process would contribute to us having more abundance in our life, or receiving more, or having more wealth. And it's going to be different because everybody's created a totally different limitation about how they're receiving or not receiving, and what they're receiving and what they're willing to receive. And it's different for everyone. So there's no way I can say there's one process that's going to work for everybody, but you will be shown ways to start talking to your body and hearing what processes work better. That's one of the things, a huge target of mine in the class is that you start creating more ease listening to your body. So that will allow you to pick the processes, or your body, sorry, it's not you that picks them, it's your body, to pick the processes that are going to create the changes that you're asking for. And there's body processes to create more space with your body, to create more use with your body, different eyesight, different brain capacities, to get rid of trauma in your body, and all of these things can contribute to receiving more abundance. Because it's really what we are judging and not receiving that keeps us from having the money flows that we're asking for. See, any questions on that one? I kind of went over that one quickly. What communion with your body are you refusing with the feelings you are choosing? Oh, that's the same one someone just put up. Okay, so what else do you guys want to know? Someone asked, what would it take to have more ease with their body? There's some nods on the Zoom here with you guys. So what would more ease with your body look like? What would that be like for you? How many of you guys are fighting your body and fighting what your body is asking for, and controlling your body, so you can't have the ease with your body. Everything that just brought up will be destroyed and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So asking your body what it would like to eat, pretty simple. Body, would you like to eat this? Requires you giving up control over your body and how you've been forcing it to eat the way you thought was the appropriate way to eat, or making it wrong for eating things you think weren't appropriate to eat. So you're like overeating or eating things you think are wrong for your body, no question in that. Or you're forcing your body to eat things you've decided are healthy or good or nutritious for your body, usually based on something you've read or something you've heard or some practice you've done in the past. Your body is not included in any of that. You're actually refusing to listen to your body, which is fighting your body. And that fighting does not create ease. Including your body in everything you choose for your body is one of the greatest ways to create ease with it. I don't know if anyone else has been using the tools like body, would you like to eat this? Or body, what would you like to eat? And could share how that has changed for their bodies and created more ease. I know for mine, and I have 3 kids, and it's really actually changed for the entire family when I started using that tool. I no longer had to think and prepare and plan what we were supposed to eat based on any past points of views. I started talking to the bodies in my house, my body and my kids' bodies, and asking what would they like to eat tonight, or even would they like dinner? Now there's a question. You're not even, the idea that you wouldn't feed your children dinner. You have to be willing to be a really bad parent to do that. But at times, especially in teenage years, they'd be busy or they had something earlier and they weren't interested in eating. Now I could have them fight their body's awareness and what their body's choosing and force them to eat. Or I can have the ease of acknowledging what their body was actually choosing. And that's creating with your body. So everywhere you have forced your body to do things that you thought were right and decided were right based on this reality and your past points of views that create the resistance to listening to the resistance to listening to the choice your body actually has, can we destroy and create all of that? That's a weird one. Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So if your body is eating things it doesn't like to eat, would it create what we might define as a problem if you're not listening to it? So this is where what would you create if your body wasn't a problem? If you weren't forcing it to do things it didn't want to do, and then it has to create some kind of an energy and resistance to that, or get you somehow aware of it by creating pains and problems. And with the whole eating thing, people have changed irritable bowel syndrome and Crohn's disease based just on these tools and the different body processes, and have more ease with their body than they've ever had. Because when you were forcing your body to eat in a way it wasn't asking to, it had to create all these things to try to get you the awareness that this isn't what I'm asking for. And when you start having those awarenesses and start to have this communion with your body, then these things that we've decided are diseases or pains or problems don't have to exist anymore. They're not required because you're listening to what your body says. So everywhere you have all of every awareness you've been having from your body that you turned into a pain, problem, or disease, would you be willing to uncreate and destroy all of those? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I can feel questions. Oh, here's some more. What communion are with your body? Okay. I know and use the who does it belong to. Oh, this is good. I can talk about who does it belong to. I have also asked it not to pick up all the stuff it does. It still picks up stuff. Is there anything we can do? Is there any other thing we can do than just be aware without taking it on? So is there anything you can do besides just being aware and taking it on? So who does it belong to? So that's a question you want to ask for every thought, feel, and emotion that you have. Is it mine or someone else's? Who does this belong to? If it changes at all, if it lightens up or changes, it's not yours. Now with your body, and if you have, and really aware bodies will still have awareness of that energy, but it's not yours. Who does it belong to is a tool so you can start becoming more aware of what is the energy that you are and how it's different from the energies of everything all around you. So the best tool when you're picking up energies or aware of energies so you don't pick them up is to know they're not yours and acknowledge that your body's giving them to you. That, okay, you know, it's not mine. Cool. Thanks, body. There's nothing I need to do with this. You can stop telling me. When you take the energy on the second you make it real for you, or when you decide you have to do something with it, or create some change, or when you decide it's yours. Now, 99% of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, which many of them are felt, you'll perceive them in your body, are not yours. And when using this tool, Who Does It Belong To, for every thought, feeling, and emotion for 3 days, it's going to create a massive change if you are willing to do it. It's a little difficult task for people, but it definitely, if you're choosing something, you really want that kind of change, that's one of the things you want to do, is ask, who does it belong to? And this is something that I find is a massive gift. That's another point of view. If you had the point of view that if you have the point of view that every awareness your body is giving you is actually a gift and not a problem, then you are going to be taking them on that way. You'll just be aware of them. When I work with bodies and in the body classes, my body feels things, gives me awareness and information about bodies in the room, bodies I'm going to be seeing, bodies I've seen in the past. It's tons of information, but all of it is valuable information when I'm teaching classes or when I'm doing private sessions, because my body's giving me the information of what's going on in the bodies I'm working with. And then I can use that information to start creating the changes that they're asking for. It's better than what I used to do when I was a physical therapist working in normal practice, where I'd take a history of what was going on with them. Well, I don't take histories anymore. Now I just have my body give me the information that's going on with their body. And as soon as I acknowledge it, as soon as I recognize that that's information from their body and acknowledge my body is giving it to me, poof, it just goes away. So you don't have to take it on. So everywhere you never acknowledge anything your body is telling you and just want it to go away because it's such a horrible thing and you want to get rid of it, can we destroy and create all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere you're refusing to receive the gift of your body's awareness, can we uncreate and destroy all of that, please?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. You got to get your aware beings. That's what embodiment here, that's part of the gift of embodying here, is that you have awareness. And you have the awareness of everything around you. That's
one of the things that I think with that who doesn't belong, right, you know what I mean, is that people think it will go away. And a lot of times it's not mine, but it doesn't go away. Like, quote unquote, whatever stabbing or whatever it is, doesn't go away. So how much, I mean, because then I think then it's easy to go into like, oh, well, then the who doesn't belong to doesn't work, or because we think that like, oh, it's not mine, it'll go away. But sometimes you still have the thing, right? So, well,
you don't have it, but you still have the awareness of it.
Right, you still have the awareness of it. And so it's still, you know.
Well, that's where the acknowledging that it's there, that you're aware of it, can create a massive change. It's just kind of like if you have little kids and they're trying to get your attention, they're pulling on your, pant leg, trying to get your attention. And when you ignore them, they get louder and louder. When we ignore the awarenesses or create them into something else, they get louder and louder because there's information there that your body's trying to share with you or has. It may not be relevant, but your body may not get that part. That's kind of up to you to say, okay, is there anything I need to do with this information? Once you've acknowledged that you got it, that you've heard your body, that you've listened to it, that you get this information that's coming in, your body doesn't have to keep telling you about it. It's still there. You can't make these energies go away, but it doesn't have to be as loud in your universe. Does that help? Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. Any questions out there? Yeah.
Hi, Glenna. We have a question from the German speakings.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it's what could help that my body could get more ease with the body processes. Until now, my body hasn't actually reacted to the body processes. Well, it has reacted, but only with nauseousness, with pain in the kidneys, and with sleep, with funny things in sleeping. So what could help?
Well, that's a lot of information.
Oh,
that's cool. Thank you for that question. The body processes are intense and they create a lot of change. And if you're resisting that change at all, some of the things you're talking about could show up. Or not acknowledging the change.
Glenna, I can't hear you very well anymore.
Huh. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just sort of quiet.
I'm not sure what that is.
Maybe just talk louder.
Okay, I'll put my computer closer to me. Did it just change?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I just got softer. I wonder if it's something with my connection.
That's probably what it was.
Okay, it's better now?
It's better now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
So the information, so there's the question is that someone's been getting the body processes, and I don't know how many they've had run. That would be help with this, what I'm going to say. But the processes create change. They create intense change. They get rid of things that we've held in place for years to not have these communions with the rest of the world, the planet, and everything around us, and with our body. And often when people have kind of intense stuff happen, it's because they're having intense change. So the body processes may be working way better than you've imagined. So everywhere you have not been willing to acknowledge the kind of change that you've been asking for and how it's showing up in a way that you didn't expect or imagine, can we destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So they were saying nausea, what was it? It's not sleeping well, and pains in the kidneys is the other thing. So you can ask your body, are you changing? Is that the awareness you're actually giving me? And if you're concerned it's a problem, you can ask, am I changing or is this a problem? Your body, one of those will be lighter. Now, in all the years I've worked with bodies and doing the access, let's say like 12 years of access tools, hundreds, thousands of people I've worked with, I've asked many times, is this a problem? When they had stuff like that was a pain or whatever, nausea, pain, those kind of things. And in all the years I've worked, twice have I gotten a yes. Thousands and thousands of bodies, but only twice in all these years of asking, is this a problem? Now, often I'm just asking it energetically for me because I have a private session. I want to know what's going on with the body. Now, the 2 times it happened, one person had their ACL, the internal knee, ripped apart. So they needed to go to the emergency room and have that taken care of. And the other was a broken finger that I was hoping wasn't a broken finger because it was my daughter's hand and I didn't want to have to go and have her cast it up. So those are the 2 times it's happened. So it's really rare that it actually ever is a problem. But I have people ask that question because it creates ease for you. Because so often when we feel these pains or these, nausea, dysfunction in our body, we go instantly into, oh my God, something's wrong with me. Because that's all we've ever heard throughout our lifetime. So everything that is, everywhere you have, when you perceive anything in your body, you decide it's a pain or problem because that's what everyone has always said to you throughout your life and lifetimes. Can we destroy and uncreate all of that energy? Okay, cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. So if the body is changing, you are going to feel the intensity of that. There's going to be an intensity of that change. You're an intense being. You have intense awareness. The body processes are intense. Intenseness is not something that we are told to, we are taught to see the gift that it really is for us, and that's what we really be. So you'll go into these other ways of looking at it. So often with the body classes, when they have intensities, is to start looking, is this the change I've been asking for? Body showing up in a way I didn't imagine. What information are you telling me with this? What is it about the stuff, if you've got something going on in your kidney, body, what is this? What information are you giving me with this intensity in my kidneys? Now, it's best to try to get to these questions before you've decided it's a problem, or you need to unravel the problem stuff and the pain stuff to have more ease listening to the other stuff the body's saying, but sometimes it'll get through. Keep asking what it is. And as far as sleep goes, I'm not sure what the weirdness with sleep is they're talking about, but how much sleep does your body actually require? How many of you are asking body, how much would you like to sleep? Or have you decided you're supposed to sleep 7 hours or 8 hours because you read that or were told that, or that's what everyone says is a good amount of sleep? Now, my body sleep is different all the time. I'm traveling all over the world, different countries, different time zones, and it tends to wake up around 7 o'clock no matter where I am in the planet. But I allow my body to sleep the way it would like to. And I also am really clear with my body, because I'm creating with it, about what's up the next day. Like, we need to get up at this time to teach a class or to drive the kids to school. And how much sleep are you going to require for that to be easy for us? That's another way, that question about how do you have more ease with your body, is to start including it in what your days are going to be like. Now, my body's really cool with this. It's cool with less sleep or more sleep or different sleep, because I'm creating with it, and it's everything I'm creating is a gift for it also. So it's cool with going along with it. Like, oh yeah, we only get 2 hours of sleep tonight because we just got off a plane and the time zones are weird. And body, are you going to be okay with this? My body's like, yeah, I can do that with you. Of course, we're creating this together. This is our, life living in reality. And of course I'm going to contribute to that. Or if there's a menu at a restaurant and nothing really is that fun for my body, but it needs some sugar, salt, and water, is it okay to eat something on this menu? What would work for you, and how could we change it so it works for you better? And then my body's like, yeah, cool, let's pick this thing. Those are the ways you start creating with your body, is including it in these conversations you have and letting it know what the future is going to be like and what's required of it. Asking it to contribute that way instead of telling it. It's really amazing how much it will go along with total ease when it's actually included in the question. Cool. I think that helps with the sleeping stuff. So, and what other body processes would you like run to help have more ease with all of that that's going on? Cool. So this Zoom was around 45 minutes was the plan. So we're getting on towards the end. There's a couple more questions, I think. This is when people want to have a body process. I touch their body, but the body is telling me I'm not willing to receive. But the person is saying yes, and I really want to. She really wants to receive. We also ask, does this belong to? And the answer is it belongs to her. How can it make it easier to receive energy for her body? Okay, so there's a couple questions there. This is about someone's working with. Let me try to say that a little different. So the person is touching the body, doing a body process, and they're getting the information that the body's not receiving, even though the person is saying they're receiving. So with that, what you want to do, if you guys are doing trades or have a practice where you're using the body processes, maybe there's some body process facilitators on here, is you want to give the body only what it can receive. Now, this is a huge, huge gift. This is going to create, it's so honoring to the body and to the being, because what they can receive isn't little to them. It may seem like if you can only give them what they receive, seems like a little teeny bit for you, because you may have a huge awareness of what they could receive or in the future they could receive. But right when you're working on them, giving them more than they can receive is a total dishonoring of them and will come back at you. But if you give them what they can receive, which may seem like nothing to you, it's actually going to be something that's going to create the changes that they're asking for, and it won't be nothing to them. Now, how do you know what they can receive? You ask the question, body, or what would it take to only give them what they can receive in the session, and you will be that energy. This is not something you're ever going to figure out with your brain. It's not something you're going to be able to think about and figure it out. I mean, there's one example I talk about a lot. I had a woman that came in to see me, a lot of stuff going on with her body, and I said to her, what if nothing you've ever done is wrong? That was it. That one access phrase, what if nothing in your life you've ever done has been wrong? She still, 6 years later, talks about that day when I said that one phrase to her. That is what she could receive. To me, I could see a whole bunch of stuff. She's been through, COPs and done lots of access work. She's a bars facilitator now. I mean, all of that future was available to me. But if I'd gone there, she wouldn't have received, it would have been giving her more than she could receive then. It would have stopped what she could receive, and by just being the energy of what she could receive, changed her life. And she's immensely grateful to this day for that one sentence that I gave her. So being that energy all the time, it may seem weird to you, and you may not get what it is they receive right away, but if you're willing to be that, you'll create dynamic changes, change people's lives. You'll facilitate something that will actually open them up to different possibilities. So that is one of the things about not receiving. You can also ask truth, is her body not receiving? Because it may not actually, doesn't actually feel like that's totally true. I think it's receiving way more than either of you guys may be acknowledging. And it may just not look the way you think it should look. So everywhere you've decided what receiving is supposed to look like, and how to do receiving right, and how you do receiving wrong, can we just run and create everything that is? Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And then answer, who does it belong to? And they say, it's theirs. Okay, sometimes it is, really rare, but that's a possibility that it is yours. I've had it happen a couple times over the years. But a great question to ask after that is say, okay, who did you buy that from? Because they may have bought it from somebody else, read it somewhere, heard it, heard people talk about it, been taught it all through their lives. It may be something that they've heard so many times from other people or energetically heard that it feels so much like theirs they can't perceive the difference of it. So that can often open up and they'll go, oh, my parents, or, my husband, or my teacher, or, the doctor that I saw when I was young, or something I read in a magazine, or Googled. It's all online. So that can open them up to seeing that it's from somewhere else originally and it's not theirs. So great. So everything you've bought from other people that you've bought so intensely that you actually decided is you, could we destroy and uncreate all of that? Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. There's one more question I'm seeing here. I keep having strange kind of redness and dryness on my face and neck that looks really bad. How can I change it? Okay. There's a lot going on with that energetically. What is your body trying to, who is this? This is Kasha. What information is your body giving you with the redness in the face? Okay, we'll start with that one. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive, whatever that is for you, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And so this is a weird question. I don't usually ask this off the bat, but I think I'm going to. It's like, what do you love so much about it? Or how is it working for you? What's valuable about the redness on the rash and dryness on your face that you're not acknowledging? Now that question can be a really tough one, but somehow this is working for this person. It's not something you want to ask everybody, but if they can see where it helps you see where you're the creator of it, and it's usually something very strange and weird. Yeah, that's opening up something because I'm going to share my body with you guys right now. On my face now is starting to feel really hot and red. So somehow the person that just asked that question is starting to look at the energy because my body's giving me the energy of her looking at the energy of her face. So whatever that is, whatever you've been willing to perceive, know, be, and receive about whatever that is, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. I think I'd have to ask you more questions to really get into that, but keep asking the question about what is so valuable about this to me, and body, what are you telling me, and see if you don't get some clarity. And if you want to email me privately at glenna@glennarice.com or message me on Facebook if we're friends, we could ask that a few more questions about that. But you've just opened up the energy. And then body, what would it take to change this? You can say, body, it doesn't really work for me for us to have red faces when we go out in public. What would it take to change this? What information are you giving me? What can we do and create to change this? And thank it for giving you the information. Is it yours is the other question. Maybe doing something for other bodies too. Cool. Someone else wrote about losing smelling and tasting and nothing works. I would be the same question with that. What is valuable to you about not smelling and tasting? And something about stopping the awareness of the joys of life and living. So what have you done to stop your awareness of the joys of life and living with your body? And the joy of embodiment. The joy of embodiment. Everything you've done to stop the joy of embodiment, we just try and create all of that. Right, wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Because tasting and smelling is something that is such a gift for you and your body and can be so orgasmic. I talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the Zoom, but just if you guys can all remember one time when you were really, really thirsty and you drank water and what that was like. And you just gulp, 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 and how joyful and fun and yummy that was. That's the energy that food should be and smells should be. A joy and a joy for your body and a joy with your body. So everything you guys have done to stop that joy of embodiment with tasting and smelling and feeling and touching and being on this planet, we destroy and create all of that. Hello, all the nods. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay. Anything else before I go? I'd like to let you guys know about, if you want my schedule for my upcoming body classes, and I have one coming up in like a week and a half or something in Hamburg, Germany. So all you Germans on there, I would love to have you join that class. And there's lots of classes coming to Germany, and Gary Douglas has an advanced body class in Munich coming up also. So you need 2 body classes to get to that and a COP. How lucky is Germany, and how lucky are the bodies in Germany? Oh my gosh, there's so much going on. There's so much magic. So you can go to the accessconscious.com website to look up, and you can go to body classes to look up all the different classes that are coming there. If you want just my schedule, it's accessconscious.com/Dr. Glenna Rice. And if someone could write that in the chat really quick for people, that would be cool. And you can also find me on Facebook. And glennarice.com is my website, which you can link to all the Access stuff through there also. So I have a class coming up, 3-day body classes in Germany, and then I have one with Cass Thomas in New York, which I'm really excited about, in July 15th, weekend of the 15th. And then I'm going to be in San Francisco right before Gary's coming. Yay, Gary's coming to San Francisco. That's where I live, my hometown, for an advanced body class there. And I'll have a body class just before that. And then
So not to underestimate that you can spend 6 days laying on a table getting body processes if you come play with us in San Francisco.
Yeah. Come play with me all over.
And most importantly, the topic of this call was about how to create with your body. And you have a fantastic year-long series that is about exactly that.
Oh, right. Thanks, Kim.
So maybe let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, a little plug for my Creating with Your Body series. It's a whole year, 4 chunks of calls of 3 each. Listening. We did awareness, and we're doing listening right now, and then we have gratitude and relationship coming up. You can buy the whole thing, or you can just buy in 3 parts. And the listening call is, we're just starting the second one next week. So if that's something you're interested, if you want to go into this topic more and talk to me more in detail about it, that call, you can find that at glennarice.com. Thanks, Kim, for reminding me about that.
You're welcome.
Very bad at my own PR. Okay, well, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for coming on. Hopefully I'll see you at a class somewhere on the planet. I would love to. Or you'll get yourself to a body class and change bodies, your body, and change bodies on the planet and change the planet. Pretty amazing stuff. Thanks for joining me.
Awesome. Thanks.